Any fool can know. The point is to understand.
Everything you want in life is a relationship away. Life is a blank canvas, and you need to throw all the paint on it you can. It is foolish to tear one's hair in grief, as though sorrow would be made less by baldness. The easy confidence with which I know another man's religion is folly teaches me to suspect that my own is also. Trusting yourself means living out what you already know. Be true. I want to dream a dream so wonderful that I'll wake up sorry that it wasn't a memory. Some choose to influence change, and some choose to be influenced by change. You choose which one are you. Truth is confirmed by inspection and delay, falsehood by haste and uncertainty.
You can change your mind. Don't let your mind change you.
Sometimes the sound of silence is the most deafening sound of all.
Don't chase. Elevate your game and be someone worth chasing after. The superior man understands what is right. The inferior man understands what will sell.
Few among men are they who cross to the further shore. The others merely run up and down the bank on this side. Victories that come cheap are cheap. Those only which are worth having come as the result of hard fighting. That truth should be silent. I had almost forgot.
When you know what you want, and you want it bad enough, you'll find a way to get it. They can't tell so much about you if you got your eyes closed.
Charity, like the sun, brightens every object on which it shines.
Dream as if you'll live forever. Live as if you'll die today.
Of course, a sign doesn't mean anything unless you know how to interpret it. What we cannot bear removes us from life. What remains can be borne. It takes nothing to stay in poverty, but everything to break free from it.
There's no clarity. There was never meant to be clarity.
The best way to find out if you can trust somebody is to trust them.
The only thing that interferes with my learning is my education.
Almost everything is changeable, improvable, and achievable unless the laws of nature prevent it from happening.
One half of the world cannot understand the pleasures of the other.
Wisdom is being able to see the world for what it is, rather than what you want it to be. Day after day, we stuck nor breath nor motion, as idle as a painted ship upon a painted ocean.
Mist to mist, drops to drops, for water thou art, and unto water shalt thou return.
People have only as much liberty as they have the intelligence to want and the courage to take.
Life is short. Live it. Love is rare. Grab it. Anger is bad. Dump it. Fear is awful. Face it. Memories are sweet. Cherish them.
If it can be destroyed by the truth, it deserves to be destroyed by the truth.
Life would be unbearably dull if we had answers to all our questions. Concern for man and his fate must always form the chief interest of all technical endeavors. Never forget this in the midst of your diagrams and equations. Politeness is the first thing people lose once they get the power.
Stay calm in times of trouble, and all the turbulence around you will obey you. The truth about life and lie about life is not measured by others but by your intuition, which never lies. You are exactly where you need to be. If you want something, do something about it. Otherwise, it will be your whole life. The worst thing he told me is bitterness. People end up so bitter. Be a life long or short, its completeness depends on what it was lived. Be known for your kindness and sympathy, for a kind gesture can heal a wound that only compassion can heal. To capture an enemy's army is better than to destroy it. To escape fear, you have to go through it, not around.
Creativity is intelligence having fun.
Enjoy the little things, for one day you may look back and realize they were the big things. Don't believe what your eyes are telling you. All they show is limitation. Look with your understanding. If fighting is sure to result in victory, then you must fight. He who knows does not speak. He who speaks does not know.
All wars are won or lost before they are ever fought.
Beauty as we feel it is something indescribable. What it is or what it means can never be said.
Chaos is more freedom. In fact, total freedom, but no meaning.
Death is not the greatest loss in life. The greatest loss is what dies inside while still alive. Never surrender. The best way to have a good idea is to have a lot of ideas. You are in charge of your own happiness. You don't need to wait for other people's permission to be happy. The unselfish part of us can help us understand others better.
Earth's crammed with heaven, but only he who sees takes off his shoes.
The pain you feel today will be the strength you feel tomorrow. I think of life as a good book. The further you get into it, the more it begins to make sense. To the world you may be one person, but to one person you may be the world.
Don't be afraid of failure. This is the way to succeed.
If you do not tell the truth about yourself, you cannot tell it about other people. I'm guilty of giving people more chances than they deserve. But when I'm done, I'm done. People don't realize how a man's whole life can be changed by one book. If life's an exercise in making memories, no one really goes away as long as they are remembered. We can know only that we know nothing, and that is the highest degree of human wisdom. Wanting him to come back before anyone notices part of the world has not moved since he left. Learn from stars. Even in the dark they give off light, not despair. Some roses grow through concrete. Remember that. They must often change. Who would remain constant in happiness and wisdom? That's a misconception, Lenny. The sky is everywhere. It begins at your feet. One must work and dare if one really wants to live. Use the wings of the flying universe. Dream with open eyes. See in darkness. After everything has been said and done, all you have is your story. Make sure it's worth telling. It is difficult to make the right choice if you fear choosing wrongly. He who has a why to live for can bear almost anyhow.
What the ancients called a clever fighter is one who not only wins, but excels in winning with ease.
The desire to die was my one and only concern. To it I have sacrificed everything, even death. Keep your face always toward the sunshine, and shadows will fall behind you. The only part of you that hurts when you're given the truth is the part that lives on lies. Never underestimate yourself when you do what is right. Never overestimate yourself when you do what is wrong. Dreaming of a life not lived, but holding on to the fantasy, because the scars of reality still sting the heart.
Shoot for the moon. Even if you fail, you'll land among the stars.
If the world was made for us, then it belongs to us, and we can do what we damn well please with it. Though all men be equally frail before the world, the differences between them are terrifying.
Every beginning has an end, and every end is a new beginning. Your time is way too valuable to be wasting on people that can't accept who you are.
Man keeps looking for a truth that fits his reality. Given our reality, the truth doesn't fit. It's a sad day for American capitalism when a man can't fly a midget on a kite over Central Park.
Judge your success by what you had to give up in order to get it.
The world should have been in Technicolor, but seemed more like black and white. Like a running blaze on a plane, like a flash of lightning in the clouds, we live in the flicker. To be successful, you have to be out there. You have to hit the ground running. When you have a dream, you've got to grab it and never let go.
If we don't change the direction we are headed, we will end up where we are going.
People at war with themselves will always cause collateral damage in the lives of those around them. Hatred is a form of faith, distilled by passion to remove all rationality. We are not leaving anyone behind. We have to stick together in order to stay safe.
The essence of knowledge is having it to use it. A kingdom that has once been destroyed can never come again into being, nor can the dead ever be brought back to life.
If you can't change your fate, change your attitude. Life is essentially an endless series of problems. The solution to one problem is merely the creation of another. Don't turn over the rocks if you don't want to see the pale creatures who live under them.
Life is more or less a lie, but then again, that's exactly the way we want it to be. A good completion takes a long time. A bad completion cannot be changed later.
You must learn to let go. Release the stress. You were never in control anyway. Living might mean taking chances, but they're worth taking. Loving might be a mistake, but it's worth making. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. Don't be pushed around by the fears in your mind. Be led by the dreams in your heart. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how.
People wealth consists upon their freedom, individual resources, and good social life. If tomorrow were never to come, it would not be worth living today. 10 seconds, that's all it takes for life to throw you a curveball.
The unhappiest people in this world are those who care the most about what other people think. Death is not the opposite of life, but a part of it. What a waste my life would be without all the beautiful mistakes I've made. The strength of a nation derives from the integrity of the whole. To be even-minded is the greatest virtue. Wisdom is to speak the truth and act in keeping with its nature.
The only way out of the labyrinth of suffering is to forgive. There is no greater danger than underestimating your opponent.
I was within and without, simultaneously enchanted and repelled by the inexhaustible variety of life. Wisdom is the reward for surviving our own stupidity.
The terrible thing about the quest for truth is that you find it. Appreciate the moment of a first kiss. It may be the last time you own your heart.
The sharpest minds often ruin their lives by overthinking the next step, while the dull win the race with eyes closed. Allow yourself to be a beginner. No one starts off being excellent. It is not that I am mad. It is only that my head is different from yours. Truth is not as pompous and romantic as myth, but it has the immeasurable value of being the truth. The only faithfulness people have is to emotions they're trying to recapture. Energy and initiative count as much as talent and luck.
It is only possible to live happily ever after on a daily basis. It does not matter how long you live, but how well you do it.
Never stop just because you feel defeated. The journey to the other side is attainable only after great suffering. Great is truth, but still greater from a practical point of view is silence about truth. The calling of an author is more than just to entertain, but also to share one's experiences with the world. Letting go means to come to the realization that some people are a part of your history, not a part of your destiny.
Start writing, no matter what. The water does not flow until the faucet is turned on.
In the end, all men die. How you lived will be far more important to the Almighty than what you accomplished. Stand up and walk. Move on. After all, you have perfect legs to stand on. Nothing is as it seems, but something is everything it is made out to be. We can't help everyone, but everyone can help someone.
Unthinking respect for authority is the greatest enemy of truth.
Our mistrust of the future makes it hard to give up the past.
It is better for the heart to break than not to break.
Life is not complex. We are complex. Life is simple, and the simple thing is the right thing.
People ought to fight to keep their law as to defend the city's walls.
Searching outside of you is samsara. Searching within you leads to nirvana. Don't have hope that the situation will be better. Have hope that your Savior will be nearer.
Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence.
Those who forget the past are condemned to repeat it. I am ignorant of absolute truth, but I am humble before my ignorance, and therein lies my honor and my reward. Perhaps I know best why it is man alone who laughs. He alone suffers so deeply that he had to invent laughter. I don't need it to be easy, I need it to be worth it.
There are two ways of spreading light: to be the candle or the mirror that reflects it.
I don't need a lot, I just want to find my peace. Life is not a matter of holding good cards, but of playing a poor hand well.
Keep their friends close and their enemies closer.
Hate is nothing when weighed against survival. Until you change how you get things done, you'll never know what works best. Not everything can be counted counts, and not everything that counts can be counted.
We must meet the challenge rather than wish it were not before us.
All our knowledge has its origin in our perceptions. We can't choose our fate, but we can choose others. Be careful in knowing that. In the midst of difficulties, we are always ready to seize an advantage. We may extricate ourselves from misfortune.
We destroy in assumptions, but we do not build in possibilities. Feeling guilty does not set us free. Being equipped sets us free.
The essence of life does not consist in the lushness of your possession, but in the richness of your heart.
All the fish needs is to get lost in the water. All man needs is to get lost in Tao.
You cannot be lonely if you like the person you're alone with.
Life is like an onion. You peel it off one layer at a time, and sometimes you weep.
Seeking what is true is not seeking what is desirable. All you need in this life is ignorance and confidence. Then success is sure. Don't waste your time hating a failure. Failure is a greater teacher than success. Listen, learn, go on. A hero is not known by the number of battles he has won, but rather by the kind of battles he chooses to fight. There's only one day at a time here, then it's tonight, and then tomorrow will be today again. It is not enough to show how clever we are by showing how obscure everything is. When you are living the best version of yourself, you inspire others to live the best versions of themselves.
We can't become what we need to be by remaining what we are. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. One who is too insistent on his own views finds few to agree with him.
I don't like people around me sad. I like making people happy.
The only time you fail is when you fall down and stay down.
Much of what was said did not matter, and that much of what mattered could not be said. Optimists move through life with a happy exterior. What happens on the inside shows up on the outside. To have great pain is to have certainty. To hear that another person has pain is to have doubt. Life has become the future. Every moment of your life is lived for the future.
If fate doesn't make you laugh, you just don't get the joke.
Solitary trees, if they grow at all, grow strong.
Maybe everyone is just waiting for someone else to save them.
Whatever their future, at the dawn of their lives, men seek a noble vision of man's nature and of life's potential. Fairness does not mean everyone gets the same. Fairness means everyone gets what they need. No greater gift there is than a generous heart.
In making tactical dispositions, the highest pitch you can attain is to conceal them. Learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. The important thing is not to stop questioning.
To free yourself from perceived bonds, you must test the strengths of those restraints and risk failure. Respect other people's feelings. It might mean nothing to you, but it could mean everything to them.
The surest way to make your dreams come true is to live them.
If we thought more for ourselves, we would have very many more bad books and very many more good ones. A stone is heavy and the sand is weighty, but a fool's wrath is heavier than them both. Sometimes we're tested not to show our weaknesses, but to discover our strengths.
Never stop acquiring the common sense. It is as good as the knowledge.
Never apologize for showing feeling. When you do so, you apologize for the truth. People soon get tired of things that aren't boring, but not of what is boring.
Until you have suffered much in your heart, you cannot learn humility.
Good ideas stay with you until you eventually write the story.
What keeps life fascinating is the constant creativity of the soul.
The world is so full of a number of things. I'm sure we should all be as happy as kings. Brilliance is impossible without a touch of insanity.
How people treat you is their karma. How you react is yours.
Never trust a person that has let you down more than 2 times. Once was a warning, twice was a lesson, and anything more than that is simply taking advantage. When I was growing up, I always wanted to be someone. Now I realize I should have been more specific.
Better a broken promise than none at all.
In the face of change, do not be afraid to spread your wings and let the winds guide you to new horizons. Think of one thing you can do that will make a big difference in what you are trying to achieve. Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. Problems are not stop signs. They are guidelines. As long as you gave everything you had and you didn't let it break you, it could never be considered a failure. It takes guts and humility to admit mistakes. Admitting we're wrong is courage, not weakness. And therefore those skilled in war bring the enemy to the field of battle and are not brought there by him. Do not lose yourself in the crowd. You are the only one you've got. Take care of your soul. A sage steers by the bright light of confusion and doubt.
If you make a mistake and do not correct it, this is called a mistake.
The greatest pleasure in life is doing what people say you cannot do. Liberty without learning is always in peril, and learning without liberty is always in vain. A picture may be worth 1,000 words, but just a few of the right words can paint 1,000 pictures.
Belief can be manipulated. Only knowledge is dangerous.
If the emotions are free, the intellect will look after itself.
You don't have to like someone, but you have to treat them as you wish to be treated. You've got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win a prize.
Prayer is the mortar that holds our house together.
Those who realize their folly are not true fools.
With all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be cheerful. Strive to be happy. It frightens me, the awful truth of how sweet life can be. A bird is safe in its nest, but that is not what its wings are made for. I'm looking into my past lives. I'm convinced some of them still owe me money.
One need not destroy one's enemy. One need only destroy his willingness to engage. The space under the sky is occupied by all things in their unity. Small circle, private life, and peaceful mind.
The worst part about being lied to is knowing you weren't worth the truth.
Everyone's greatest fantasy is to walk away from the life you lead. Most of what matters in our lives takes place in our absence. Even the finest sword plunged into salt water will eventually rust.
Nothing factual that I write or say will be as truthful as my fiction. You don't get paid for the hour. You get paid for the value you bring to the hour. No regrets, just lessons. No worries, just acceptance. No expectations, just gratitude. Life is too short. This had seemed a safe choice, since to be against the Beatles is to be against life. You cannot live a nonviolent life as long as you are consuming violence. Please consider going vegan. Illegal aliens have always been a problem in the United States. Ask any Indian. Great things are not done by impulse, but by a series of small things brought together. If you don't have any shadows, you're not in the light.
Attack where he is unprepared. Sally forth when he does not expect you.
Your dreams are worth it. Persevere. Your focus is your power. Harness it.
I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Life did not intend to make us perfect. Whoever is perfect belongs in a museum. There's so much to be grateful for. Words are poor things.
Be like the flower that gives its fragrance to even the hand that crushes it. Well, it's hard to be yourself. It's the hardest job there is.
It doesn't matter how great your shoes are if you don't accomplish anything in them. A tiny change today brings a dramatically different tomorrow. You can't understand where someone's going unless you understand where they've been.
Where there are bees, there are flowers, and wherever there are flowers, there is new life and hope. You don't need more time. You need less distractions. You go out and do the best you can and hope it works. You just try to improve. Silence is the best answer to someone who doesn't value your words.
Speak to me. I will spend my lifetime trying to understand you.
You cannot be fair and correct at the same time. Fairness often takes the lesser correct of the roads. I don't fit into any stereotypes, and I like myself that way.
There is no place where espionage is not possible.
And when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. All cynics are disappointed idealists. The more stars in the eyes, the harder the fall.
Keep your best wishes close to your heart and watch what happens.
Just because people run after you doesn't mean they can't stay away from you. Don't take anyone for granted.
Keep working hard and you can get anything that you want.
Great achievement is usually born of great sacrifice and is never the result of selfishness. To be prepared against surprise is to be trained. To be prepared for surprise is to be educated. If all the people who were called crazy started acting normal, we'd probably still be living in caves. A loving soul was always more beautiful over the long haul, but actual prettiness was fleeting. You're never given a dream without also being given the power to make it true.
Positive expectations are the mark of the superior personality.